Sitting in the dim basement of an old Presbyterian church in Irvington, New Jersey, I turned to look at the audience, anxiously awaiting the beginning of the show. I, on the other hand, was checking my watch, again, pouting in my selfish 18-year-old way. Come on, I have places to be. Let's go already. I sighed again. My leg was moving, and I was squirming in my plastic fold-up seat. I looked around and caught my mother nervously watching the stage. She was anxious for another reason. Her 13-year-old son was about to perform live for the first time. All of her efforts to get him here, driving 40 minutes round trip back and forth from home twice a week for months, finding ways to pay for costumes, gas, and whatever else was necessary, had come to this night. Ho-hum, I stifled a yawn. My father didn't understand why his son wasn't playing baseball or basketball. Well, I knew why. He sucked at sports. My father hadn't taken the time to teach him how to play, or rather hadn't tried for very long, but then again, no one had taught him how to sing or dance either. My brother is 5 years younger than me. I did everything first because of my spot in the birth order. But by my senior year in high school, my parents were heading for a divorce, and I was on a free-for-all ride. I had no boundaries, no limits, and was raising some serious hell. I think Johnny just got lost in the mess and was ignored, especially by me. I didn't consider his feelings during this confusing time. My little brother drove me nuts. He was always butting in. When I had a party, he would appear at the bottom of the steps with his bongos and start playing along with the Doobie Brothers record that was crackling on the turntable in the background. His hands were speaking another language, defying his age. Everyone in the room would stop what they were doing and watch him play. It annoyed me, but I have to admit I was impressed. He was so good. Okay, that's enough. Beat it, Johnny. And so just as quickly as he'd appeared, he was banished for the evening by mean old me. Other days he was just so annoying I would simply escape by leaving. His escape was playing an instrument or making strange noises that made everyone laugh. In high school, he was suspended for saying the word fish in Spanish class. I learned later that my mother had gone to the principal's office and arranged an in-school rather than out-of-school suspension by threatening not to let him perform in the school play. My brother had the lead in Guys and Dolls, and the plays were big fundraisers. Oh, finally, Marie Thomas came on stage and introduced herself. She had written and directed the play and also ran the Peppermint Players program. This play was loosely based on Hansel and Gretel, and I can't even remember the name of it. But I do remember watching my brother alone in the center of the stage. The church went dark, and the music started. Simple piano chords. The audience quieted. The spotlight shone only on him. I watched as my adorable red-headed 13-year-old brother did what I had never been able to do. When he opened his mouth to sing, he was completely self-confident. His voice filled the room. He sang perfectly. Tears welled in my eyes and chills ran up and down my body. I knew in that moment that my brother was going to do spectacular things with his talent. Good old Irma. Just good old Irma, he sang. When he finished, the audience erupted with applause. I stood and clapped until my hands hurt. The emotions washing over me were overwhelming. My tears were flowing freely now, and my mother was also crying, smiling at me through her tears. I looked at her incredulously, silently asking, "Why didn't you tell me?" Johnny came to see me after the play was over. I grabbed him and I hugged him silently. I held him and gently rocked him back and forth. Everything mean and petty was forgiven by both of us. His head fit snugly under my chin and I squeezed him. Johnny looked up at me, he smiled, and he hugged me back. The moment changed our relationship forever. I wish technology had been as good then as it is now. I would love to have that special performance on a video. Today, almost 30 years later, Johnny is a successful voice and studio actor in Los Angeles. He also sings whenever he can with friends and bands. All of his musical talents have paid off. Johnny is a generous, kind, hysterically funny man who is living his dream. And how lucky for me. That'll always be my little brother.
Visible Ink is very much a collaborative effort. We depend on our wonderful volunteers who are professional writers, editors, and teachers. We are close partners with our administrative team, with our fabulous creative team, with the people from video, from medical graphics, from conference planning, and of course we wouldn't exist at all without the support of the Rona Jaffe Foundation, the Society of Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, who sponsored this wonderful event tonight, and the United Hospital Fund, who helps support the program.